like her too. All I had is that you had to I mean, the way that you're talking about the interviews are athletes.
What's up, guys? The dog all the way from San Antonio. Couple face cuts in here that didn't speak to me, so I can't wait to lace them up on camera. It's been a while, so I'm glad to be back, but it's my turn to take my jersey over.
It's your boy, Chocolate Motherfucking Thunder, CT, the best in the Midwest. If you knew better, you would do better. I'm coming to check the weather and check these hoes at the reunion. Period.
Relax.
Okay,
Relax.
it's cold outside. It's cold outside.
Relax.
Check the weather. Check the weather.
Check what weather? Check what weather?
Check the weather. Check it.
Relax.
Check the relax. Check the weather.
Tell him, I checked the forecast. Unfortunately, I didn't see any CT.
No.
Right? That's what I said to you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Caucus Challenge Reunion Season 14. A lot has happened since we left off, so buckle up because I hope you're ready for the ride.
It's the best in the Midwest. Already know.
Thank you all for coming. I know a lot of you came from far and beyond, so I appreciate all of you. Great Media appreciates all of you, and I know everyone was invited, but not everyone could come, so I just thank you guys so much. I think our 6 finalists are finally going to join us. Come on out, guys. And then we have our winners, Jalen and Malin. Thank you guys so much for being here. I want to take a minute to pay our respects to Chris Perez with a moment of silence. The last time we left off, we saw Michaela and CT getting thrown into elimination against Jay West and Jay. Michaela and CT, what did you guys feel it was on the line when you were going into this elimination?
As bad as the situation that we were put into, I think we really made the best of it and we used our emotion to fuel our game. I think that's all we could have done in that moment, and I'm proud of that.
I mean, like Michaela just said, our game was on the line. I mean, both of my #1 allies just stabbed me in my back.
Yeah.
Didn't have a problem with it. So I want to come back in this game and show them why you can't fuck with me.
How do you feel when people tell you that you were playing an emotional game rather than a strategic game?
I don't care. They're not playing the game with me. If your friends who you've spent weeks pre-gaming with, talking, like even on a personal level, stab you in your back, that's gonna hurt a little bit.
Right.
So like at the end of the day, yeah, I could have been, I could have been emotional. But like, yeah, you can say I was emotional, but you can't say I wasn't valid.
Right. And Michaela, what about you?
I mean, I don't think I played an emotional game, so I don't think it's applicable. If people are saying that about me, they're wrong.
Right.
And that's how I'm at.
Moving into the redemption house, when Tello comes in from the last episode and tells you guys that Kristen had backstabbed her #1, I'm talking to Lauren and Ash right here. How did you guys take that news? Were you shocked, and did you expect her to backstab CT? Did you think of it as backstabbing, or it was something that Kristen had to do for her game?
Dirty. I was like, wow, that's wild. You know, it just seemed like everybody kind of changed up their whole perspective of the game.
I was very shocked compared to how they were acting last season. I'm like, how the hell would Kristen throw CT in?
Like she did. Yeah, Dre has it on film.
And does.
And you know what's crazy? From the redemption house, you hear everything. So I'm just hearing slamming, yelling. I'm like, what the fuck is going on downstairs?
And then even from Kristen's defense, she was saying that it was something that she had to do. She didn't feel like she was mentally all there. I know, I'm calling you out for my side.
That was dirty.
Yeah, you didn't.
You know what? It was, but I mean, the people speaking on it from the Redemption House, respectfully, I don't even know how y'all have an opinion. You're in the Redemption House.
Felicity asked.
You in the basement, maybe.
She asked.
But how did that benefit her? Me and Kristen played a whole season together, made it to a final, did very well in the final. No, we didn't win, but me and Kristen as partners is top tier. So to ruin that for Clay, who's never even touched the final, you want to choose Clay, who's not even going to make it to the final, or can't even tell you about a final with the 4 seasons he's been on. So it was just like, how did that benefit her?
How did it?
So I feel like, respectfully, since he's gonna run this narrative that I did it for Clay, even though I was yelling at Clay in the after show that I didn't do it for him, not to run that narrative, and now you're gonna run that narrative. So that's a little different. In my defense, I didn't want Jay West in the game anymore. I said it how it was. It wasn't to give Clay a bone, respectfully. I gave Clay the bone when I gave him the relic. That was Clay's bone.
But Ozzy could have done it, Kevin could have done it.
I didn't think that either one of them could have done it. No shade to either one of you, but I didn't think that they could have. Respectfully, I explained that to you. I explained that to the chat. You can yell all you want in the corner. I explained that to the chat. I explained that on the after show, but I'll say it again. I didn't do it
Jay West
for
would have got
Clay.
baby.
I didn't do it for Clay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations to Michaela and CT for winning your elimination.
I think I have the best of the
I was looking at those comments too.
Yeah.
Getting back to the main field, Dre tells the other players that he has some things to handle. For the main field, did you guys have any idea what he was going to do at the Redemption House? Did you guys have any suspicion?
We had suspicion. Honestly, I really didn't think about it much.
You're like, they're gone, they're
I
gone.
was so focused on everything that was going on there. And like, to me personally, I just didn't really have a relationship with any of the rookies coming into the game. That just wasn't really where my focus was. Like, I don't even mean to sound like some type of way. It's just like, genuinely, I was so focused on, there was so many other things going on. Like, with the people that were still in the game, there was a lot of drama. So I was like, predominantly focused on that. So I didn't really...
The season's called Resurrection, so you know someone's gonna
Right.
come back eventually.
Yeah.
I was praying
I
it was anybody coming back because at that point I was like, I need some sort of numbers. So I was hoping Tello, Jay West would come back in the game because don't look at me like that. Air it out. What's the see that? Air it out.
How about end of redemption? Why do you think I would help you when I came back?
And clearly the move worked for me because I won. So
Right, so why would I help you after that though?
because everybody else was more mad at you, and if you're in the game, that's one less people for me.
Yeah.
So you're a big shield in front of me. The only thing that overpowered Kevin wanting me out was Amanda wanting you out. And so if you're back in the game, that's one more round. And in a game where a round can mean everything, that's what you gotta hope for in a game like this.
The crazy part is I think people wanting me out got clouded because I don't think anyone really even wanted me out.
I wanted you out.
I didn't mind seeing those.
Oscar, you were talking the whole time about who you wanted out.
Jay West and then you next.
I
Or
didn't even
vice
know
versa.
Jay West and you were friends.
Yeah, like
Really?
Really?
I wanted you out, and I've already
I
told
thought
you
you guys only bonded over the trauma of everyone wanting the
For what it's worth, to be honest, Tello and Jay West, you guys are my number one guys. Period. My closest allies. But there's only so Tello and Jay West.
Right. Ask him again.
100%. Because who else was I going to work with?
But
at the end of the day, you can't really work with a ticking time bomb. There's nothing I could do because unpredictability is worse in a game than knowing someone's coming after you. I'm telling you this as a friend. Sometimes people will open their mouth and they don't realize the crowd will speak louder than any words you can say in a round. Period. And sometimes it's smarter just to because people like you.
Let me ask you
People like Jay West. You were never a target, and so you started.
There's no hate, there's no bad blood, but obviously when Tello told Jay to tackle me, and now I can recognize like it was just gameplay, like it is what it is, but like when Tello told Jay to tackle me, like I'm like a social player, like no offense, like everybody on this cast fucks with me. So like once you did that, like now you have a target on your back.
once he came for Amanda, then I was like, okay, like if he's coming for Amanda, like I'm gonna have Amanda's back. And then also he was giving me strikes, like if we were playing baseball. So I'm like, he said to me, oh, this is your third strike. Like now I'm coming for you. Like obviously he wasn't gonna get a relic.
For me personally, after he beat that elimination with JT, that's when I wanted to target Tello because he got on his high horse. Yeah, we beat JT. That is a good win. but I felt like you kind of got on your high horse and you felt like you could beat everybody. And we've already proved that we could beat JT. JT is beatable. So me personally, I took it as offense because I was like, well, yeah, like, because you started going around saying you can beat everybody, nobody's touching you. That's cool, you can feel like that or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm not JT and you would have never done that to me.
The same way Jay West stepped to the wrong group.
He did.
With that
But he
energy.
did that before y'all voted me in. I think y'all were scared of me.
Yeah, you beat JT, but there's still people in this game who's not afraid of you.
That's the thing. I don't need you to be scared of me to beat you.
We learned that it's a social game, and there's social dynamics to it.
100%.
And every little thing that you say or do has a ripple effect.
I appreciate that.
I agree.
Don't ever vote me in again.
And you're good socially, and you can win challenges, and you have some strategy to it, but you learn that it's a social game, and part of being a rookie is not really knowing the social dynamics either, and that's, I think, was your downfall.
I hate to say this because I don't want to make myself look like I'm like, oh, I'm the best, you shouldn't have screwed with me. Like, realistically, I'm not the best. But, like, I feel like him saying my name is what put a target on his back.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, of course.
So I really feel like y'all were just waiting for a target to be had because y'all knew each other. Point blank period. It was a consensus of just waiting for a domino to fall so y'all could pick somebody to target. Because if you look at that point in the game, what rookies are left? Ash is gone, Damien's gone, Brady's gone, Alyssa's gone.
And whose fault is that?
The only people that are left are Mr. Non-Competitive over here and myself. So it's just at that point waiting for a reason to have I'm gonna say his name.
Obviously, what you're saying has a point to it, but it didn't have to be that you that was targeted. It could have been Ozzy. It would have been any rookie.
It could have been Ozzy. I tried that shit.
It could have been
Y'all was
any
not going for that.
So, in terms of rookies, everybody else was going to go before these people were going to go.
But
you know?
listen, I literally said in an open deliberation, Ozzy's not even here. We can just vote him now. You don't even know shit.
That's great for all of the guys. If he's not here and he's out of it or he's medically injured, why not keep someone like that in the game? It's a game.
Right.
It's a game.
What did
I would have loved to work with you and Jay
But
West.
we were.
But with everyone targeting me, tell him, why the fuck would I tell myself?
I wasn't though. Everyone's targeting me. You want the person that's not.
Because what are we gonna do? You guys won't shut your fucking mouth.
No, not you guys. Let's stop that.
You and
too.
Jay West.
My one mistake was telling Jay to tackle Amanda though.
Like
Yeah, but
I
here's
told you
the
guys
thing.
several times, you guys need to shut the fuck up. Just be quiet, because we can really, all it takes is one round, and when we have power, let's open our mouths. But when we're trying, it's a game where everyone doesn't want to be a target. So if you're the first person to make yourself a target, that's the easiest bandwagon to jump on. And as much as I want to fight for my allies, you have to give me something to work with. There was no working or reasoning with you at that point in the game. There was no talking with you. I tried to give you advice. I would try to give you advice on be quiet, do this, and it wasn't. There was no reason.
But that's not true. That's not true.
Perfect example. Ozzy didn't say shit. Nobody paid attention to Ozzy because he didn't say it. He didn't open his mouth. He didn't have to prove his point. He just kind of played the game up until he didn't have to play the game anymore.
Stop lying. Y'all didn't pick Ozzy because y'all thought Ozzy sucked.
Tell and Jay West they didn't balance each other out. For example, me and CT in Most Collide, CT had his mouth going. Was my mouth going, CT? No.
Not as much.
No, but was I trying to level you? Like,
Yeah,
keep you so that we could continue. And what happened? We got thrown to elimination. So it's the same thing. Y'all didn't balance each other at
Quote
all.
me one time. What did I do that I was taught? Because y'all
No,
keep
you
saying
don't
that.
have to speak. You don't have to speak. Actions
Me saying
speak louder than words.
Is that what it was?
From a viewer's perspective, I don't think that you were aggressive. I think you were definitely passionate about the game, but it's a matter of going after Amanda, someone who has that social game, who people have loyalties to, right? And maybe, like Jalen said, you didn't have that social dynamic down, right? Either way, everything was being misconceived because think about everything that was happening that day. There's so much pressure on you guys to make it further in the game, not get back out of the house, not go home, especially for you. Someone who's traveled so far to get to this game. They just didn't know you.
Yeah.
Right. At some point, though, in the game, we're gonna be looking for any reason to put a target on. If
But
we have
don't come
no
outside and
target,
apologize to me
what are
after
we
you
gonna
vote me in.
We're all gonna tell them.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Don't come out and apologize. Don't come out in Dre's fucking driveway. Don't come out in Dre's driveway and apologize. Just vote me the fuck in and let me go to work. Don't
vote you in, and I did.
But don't come apologize. That's
People
my
have done that in the past though. Like, as always, if someone's voting anyone else in, they're
But
gonna
see,
apologize.
this is your problem. You stay up
Him, you got eliminated. You're not him. You're not him. You're not him. You're not him.
You got eliminated too.
I never
You
got
went home the
eliminated.
same episode I did. You went home the same episode I did.
Stripe, have I ever been eliminated? Not one time. Not one time. No one has been able to actually.
You went home the same episode I did.
And that was on my own.
You went home the same episode I did.
Like, you couldn't get it done twice.
You went home the same time I did.
You were sitting in the redemption house, were you not?
Right,
Did I ever step foot in the
Tough
redemption
draw,
house?
hey,
No,
tough
I
draw
didn't.
for a rookie.
No,
3 eliminations
I
in
didn't.
1 season against
No,
3
I
champs.
didn't.
Tough draw for
I
a rookie.
didn't.
You played against Hayes and you got her hair done. Fuck out of here. You played against Hayes and your friend let you fucking win. Stop playing with me.
Right, she
Stop
let
playing
me
with me.
win.
Notice how every elimination when the champs got
Okay,
hurt.
okay.
Shut it!
Y'all both lost. Next question.
Thank you. That's all I was getting at.
So we're gonna take this opportunity to move back to the redemption house. So I'm gonna ask the people on the main field, except for Ash, Lauren, and Tello to step out. Jay, you can stay as well.
Hey, Redemption House gotta stay. Redemption House gotta stay. You peep it?
And I'll do that shit on or off camera. I'm not a fucking TV ass bitch like you.
Okay, not even that. Both y'all.
Where's your wine? Look who's sitting with the redemption house, and look who's going upstairs to drink wine. Hello. Right, like that.
She went home the same episode I did.
Hello. Episode is edited. You had time in the air conditioner. I
You played
didn't.
one more game than I did. You played one more game than I did. I'm going down there. Just gotta refresh. What episode did I go home in? What was the last episode?
But McNeil made it further than
Hello, you're literally grasping
I'm in the
for
finale.
straws to feel better about
I'm in the
yourself
finale.
for me.
Yeah, always.
Just go.
I'm a competitor. That's what I do.
Him.
Him.
Yeah, we might.
Him sitting in the air conditioner.
I earned my stripes. I don't have shit to prove to nobody. I'm not arguing with nobody about elimination, this, this, and that. Never seen it. Never seen it. I'm in the finale. Didn't win in the finale.
You know,
So,
people still have to get their airtime because at the end of the day, they didn't really do much in the
I think I'm on the 16th episode right now. So.
Let him have it.
When he's gonna talk down on people and act like he's that guy, I'm gonna let him know. Like, no, you're actually not that guy.
I don't have a problem with
Michaela, how many
Tello.
chances did you get your rookie season?
Yeah, there's all that. And it was every
None. Because there was no redemption house and nobody got to come back.
Right! But that's the thing. Like, you didn't
You
get
got two chances, and no matter what, you fumbled both.
Look, I love Tello, but I'm him. Okay.
As all the viewers know, Ray went back to the Redemption House to host a death match between all of the Redemption House and find out who was coming back into the game. So,
You're blocking me.
I was so sad to see that Jay West had chosen the skull because I knew that you, Damien, and Joel were just waiting to get back into the game. How did you feel when you saw that skull?
Rigged.
Really?
Yeah. Because
Did you have any plans for revenge if you were to go into the game?
well, they were already in the redemption house, so I didn't have no beef with nobody else but them. So I was like, okay, my job is done.
Yeah.
So if I get in the game, it's just kind of up for everybody else. My whole point was to just redeem myself. I felt like that whole tug of war challenge, I basically threw it. Y'all saw me, I let that rope go. I was like, no, not fucking up my hands. But I was like, okay, I want to prove that I actually came here to play the game. And I was like, let me see what I can do. So I was really excited as to getting a chance to be put back in the game first, besides going against the champ to get back in the game. But I was like, yeah, all of that for them to get it, and then for them to lose, I was pissed.
Can I just say the fact that the most people that they wanted out, which was me, Tello, and Jay West, it's just hilarious to me the fact that we ended up getting the red skull and coming back with our
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then plus thank you for picking the list. I appreciate it.
No, sure. I fuck with the listener.
Tello, it's your time to shine.
Fine.
I know that you and Jay West were always going to choose each other if one of you had chosen the red skull.
For sure.
So what revenge did you have planned out if you were to come back into the game?
Just a win, really. Because I was at the point
you
of
were gunning for?
gunning for people at that point in time. It was a group versus the limited numbers. It wasn't. It was obvious like where everybody was at. So I knew that me and Jay West going in, they were gonna go for me immediately. And that's why I even told Ash and Joel and Damien. I told them, and I thought it made 100% sense. Like, I told them,
no, y'all should have been there how they did.
They looked at me
deliberated that plan to us.
My pitch to them was like, yo, listen, if you pick me, the whole house is gonna throw me in immediately. If I don't win, they're gonna throw me in. So then you don't gotta worry about being picked. They're gonna throw me in every time, and of course, I think I can win.
So your defense was that if you choose me, no one would ever gun for you, or like no one would try to say your name.
For sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
That little itty bit made sense. But it's like, okay, if you got it, you wasn't gonna pick me out of no chance. So
that's when it got messed up. When they asked me like, so who are you picking?
They should have not said anything. If they wanted to sell it, they should have said.
Yeah, I ain't never been a liar. I'm gonna keep it 100 every time. So they asked me like, you should have lied. If you pick, who are you
should have lied.
One of the things that stuck with me the most was when Damien said, you and Jay West were coming straight to the house, coming very hard for all the players in the game. How did you guys feel when you saw that clip of Damien?
I didn't really care. He was perfect. I rode him the whole way up there, so he drove all the way from San Antonio to the first blue and I get back.
So what was the conversation like on the way home?
Nothing. We stopped at some gas stations. Me, him, and Clay rode together. Me, him, and Clay said we're gonna play this thing together. I realized once I got there, being a rookie, Clay's a veteran. He knows what's up. Being a rookie, we get there and I realized like, well, Damien's not gonna benefit me at all. And Clay is the lowest rookie, the lowest vet on everybody's totem pole. So at that point, I was already sprayed at beam. I was like, I'm cool. I'm gonna just play with the other Jay West, not really anybody else, just literally Jay West.
So why do you say that Clay is the bottom of everyone's totem pole? Because I feel like he moved up in this season.
I think Clay's one win is a win that everybody gave him.
I don't think that's fair. He's a very
You gotta be fair, it's true.
Yeah, I say I will always spit factual information.
Okay.
He's been in way too many seasons to just be in that situation for me. He's never done nothing that impressed me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Back into the main field, we see the Redemption House walk into the field and surprise all of the main cast. How did you guys feel in that moment when you knew that you were going to have the chance, without knowing you were going to go against the champs, to get back in the game?
I thought that we were gonna get to play against anybody we chose on the cast. I was gonna bust anybody's ass up there.
Who would you have chosen?
Oscar.
Why Oscar?
Because I think he was the weakest player up there.
So, all right. So that's just you chasing the easy way out.
Call it what you want. Just don't call me broke. I don't give a fuck.
What?
Bro, too. Some rounds.
So no, but listen, people that were in the basement that didn't get to see day 2 will say that. Because anyone that saw day 2 knows exactly why I would have picked Oscar. Oscar saved Ozzy's life. I would have picked Oscar because when I look at Ozzy and Oscar, I don't think there's nothing Oscar can beat me in.
So I have a question. So everybody keeps talking about Ozzy made it through the game, blah, blah. Why wouldn't you make that Ozzy's point to stay in the game?
What do you mean?
Why wouldn't you just pick Ozzy?
I think Ozzy's a way tougher physical opponent than Oscar.
But why can't he be your elimination?
Hell no, not at that point. I'm right back in the game. The fuck. I already made it public. Me and Ozzy's beef continued after. I already made it public. If I ever play another season with Ozzy and he gets thrown in, I'll flip whatever skulls. I'll do whatever. If he goes in, I'm going in, and I'm gonna whoop his ass in front of everybody.
Right.
All right, you got that.
Clear.
You heard it, right?
Definitely.
Who could not beat?
Tell them you couldn't beat Dre.
I couldn't.
Mr. Dre, the
Hell yeah, Dre.
freaking champ. So
Hell yeah.
let's talk about your elimination. How did you feel seeing Dre was going to be your opponent?
I thought I was gonna wipe him. I'm not gonna
You
lie.
really?
Yeah, I thought
Did
he
you
was gonna-
underestimate him?
I told Jay West to let me pick Dre. I told Jay West, let me play Dre. Dre is a really underrated competitor because one, we've never seen the dude in eliminations before. You know what I mean? We've never seen him play the eliminations. So we don't know what he's good at, what he's not good at. We know he's good at staying out of them. Bro, I went against in my rookie season I played 3 eliminations against 3 champions.
That's not an easy feat.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. Jalen's loss was way worse than Dre's loss because if me and Jalen ever play that game again, he won't even touch the ball. I'll smoke Jalen. But Dre's game, I think Dre might beat me again. That's the messed up part about it is I think Dre might beat me again because he had so much strategy behind what he was doing. And the moment I realized I lost, I was like, brother, like here I am being dragged across the ground. I tried to trip him. I don't know if y'all can see it on the camera. I tried to trip him. Yeah, like we gotta figure something out. Like this is not gonna happen, bro. We're not gonna do this.
I kind of saw you like flailing around, like trying to do anything you could and get Dre down. But Dre was not.
No,
doing
not even that. Dre did not move.
Yeah.
At all.
He
He did not
He
move.
did.
His stance did not change that
It
whole
was
time.
this little right here.
It was. He did not move.
He has not
Learn something from it. Learn from it.
What? I've been pulling ropes and tires at the gym all month.
Look down there. You see that? Look close. Look close.
That's where the losers are.
Unfortunately, we don't have two people here that should be here. We don't have Alyssa or Jay West, but I kind of want to hear your guys' perspective. So, from the Redemption House perspective, how did it feel watching Jay West and Easy's elimination and seeing, I guess, the outcome of it?
I was not a fan. I wanted to like Jay West, but him throwing somebody that's a literal third of his size, it's just not acceptable.
Third's a little much.
All right, what, half?
I still think that's
Easy's
much.
tiny. Easy's tinier than me.
He's bigger than me.
Okay, but
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Easy's tiny. That should have not happened the way it did. Like, you should know your opponent. You obviously see. You're not fucking blind. Sorry, I'm speaking to him, but it's not even him.
Yeah. Now go ahead. Let's
Like, I just don't think it should have happened that way.
Here's the thing. Me and Jay West are competitors at the end of the day. I do feel like me and Jay West are bigger competitors and harder competitors, but when my karate chop Joe, nobody said shit. When me and JT was tossed around, and y'all can say we're the same size or whatever, we were still tossed around. I landed on my head, and many people might not have seen
That was
it.
different though.
But it sounds good. It sounds good. It does. It really sounds good. But it's not. It's not. It really is not. It's not our policy of one to know the game. We don't know the game. We're just playing the game. But what people might not realize is after the first round, Jay West didn't understand the rules. So now everybody's laughing at him. Everybody's talking shit about him.
Yeah.
And now it's win or go home. Do I think the slam might have been excessive? Maybe. But maybe. Hear me out. He wins. Call it what you want. Hear me out.
So I was gonna throw some cheese at him, let him eat. Kevin.
Where's the cheese?
I forgot it, that's what I was saying. I forgot to bring the cheese for the jersey back. So maybe next time. I brought these hands. Right here. I brought these hands. Let me know when you're ready.
Forgot the cheese.
Let me know when you're ready.
Loves to talk.
Let me know when you're ready.
Loves to talk about me.
Yeah. Like I said, I forgot the cheese for the jersey back, so you let me know when you're ready.
I want to do something, so do something.
Okay.
I think you should both
okay.
just run to the bodega, bring your cheese.
Fuck out of here. But anyway, like I said,
You would follow me.
I did. You never follow me back. That's why I'm
Because I'm not
following
a
you.
fan.
I'm not okay. That's the end of the day. Just like you may be that bitch, I'm that bitch too. So.
I'm real.
But you're 17. You got some drugs.
My thing with Jay West, watching that video, there were two moments. There was a ooh and there was an ah. Everybody said ooh because they was like, ooh, that didn't look good. And then he did it again. And we were like, all right. Everybody got up, everybody looked at him too crazy. I feel like there was a pause, like you didn't have to, he was already off the ground. You think he was trying to get the ball. My thing is, you could have just dragged Easy. You know, there's a lot of scenarios, probably a lot of things going in his head. But there's situations where it's like, okay, you did something that didn't sit with everybody right. You have two first instincts. Either you back away and you're like, ooh, I didn't mean to do that, or I did do that.
What you did?
Thank you, Redemption House, for joining us. Thank you for the rookies for coming on to this season. We appreciate you guys. Lauren, you're the one that here. Shout out to you. And we're going to come back to the main cast. Thank you, guys.
CC doesn't get camera time. Let's make it about 15. Let me start yelling. I ran this motherfucking season. You think you ran the season. They're not. I know. Who ran the season? CT? You guys.
I did.
Raise your hand.
I ran the season. I ran the season.
You're the only one.
I ran the season. I ran the season. I ran the season. You were talking shit. Everybody was talking shit. Now I'm in your face and y'all want to be scared.
No one's
Stop
scared.
I was
No one's scared. I wasn't scared. So shut up. 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 So shut up.
He's not gonna do anything.
I'm not gonna hit him.
He's not gonna hit him. He's not. He's saying it himself.
this and that. Like, shut up.
Just people
Kevin's a Jersey rat. Like, you're a Michigan rat. Like, that's worse than Jersey. Ugh.
We leave them alone for 40 minutes, bruh. Not even 20 minutes.
Like, he's like, Zeus Network this, Zeus Network. So then go. Why are you here? I just can't.
You just need to breathe.
Well, I want to first congratulate everyone here for making it this far in the game. And since we already heard the Redemption's House opinion on Jay West and Easy's elimination, let's talk to the cast. What did you guys feel when you saw Jay West going against Elgin?
Disgusting. Disgusting. It was disgusting. There was absolutely no need to pick somebody up that was only 1/3 of your size and drop him on his neck like that. Twice. No, then then pick him up again, drop him again, and then to say he wouldn't go to the third time, yeah, that's kind of disgusting.
Personally, I want to hear Kevin's opinion. I know you and Easy are together. How did you feel?
Yeah, just speaking from me being his boyfriend, I was obviously scared, but also like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, you didn't obviously choose him the way you said. You didn't choose him to be a part of it, but you also chose him to go against. So in my head, it's like you knew you chose the smaller competitor, so why not treat it like that? You chose a smaller one. All you had to do was grab the ball, and instead you wanted to grab his whole body and flip him on his head, which was not a part of the task. You know, and there's other ways you can go about that situation, especially already having the upper hand. So when he did what he did, I'm pretty sure nobody had respect after that play, and him choosing to opt out of the game was probably his best decision that he made all season.
At the end of the day, like, no, it shouldn't happen, but it's happened. It does happen. You've seen it on the challenge. You know, you guys can say up and down, we're not MTV the challenge, but that's what we're trying to be like.
Yeah.
So it's like, it happens on the challenge. You knew you were going to get physical.
We also can't justify it by saying that.
No, I'm not justifying it. I'm not
see
making
it on
excuses.
the challenge has ambulances, the challenge has, they are much more equipped for that kind of thing than we are at this point, and there was just literally no need for it.
So then let's talk about that. Instead of talking about, oh, like Jay West this, Jay West this, let's talk about as a production.
I think
wait. I think at the end of the day, things that production can be better is explain how physical we're allowed to get. If we need to put a weight requirement on the people who sign up for the challenge, we need to put a weight requirement. If we need to have people on standby, we have all of these beautiful nurses.
I know that there are theories who are saying that Jay West was kind of rightful in the way that he carried out the elimination, and that production had never explained how physical the challenge or the elimination could have been. So I do want to acknowledge that there are people on Jay West's side in regards to this elimination. And what's your appeal at?
Jay West kind of abused his strength in the situation. I can't really fathom a reason why that would ever be acceptable in his mind. I also think he was, people have said people were laughing at him, and at that point in the game, yeah, he was eliminated, he was trying to come back, he was fighting for his game. My whole thing on where I stand is the buts. It's like Jay West did this, but Jay West did that, but, he's sorry, but, he apologizes, but, and there really shouldn't be any buts. Somebody ended up in the hospital with injuries, and that's not on that. It should be an apology, it should be remorse, and it really shouldn't go beyond that, because at the end of the day, I'm sure production would love to have ambulances on standby. Right now, where we are, we don't have those resources, and that is public knowledge. Jay West knows that, and so for me, there's really no excuses. I do think people sometimes can act out of character and make mistakes and maybe do things in the heat of a moment, and I can be the first one to say, like, yeah, maybe I've done things in the moment that like I wouldn't really do with a clear head, but it's after the fact. You should be able to take accountability and recognize what went down was completely wrong and not sit there and say, I'd do it a third time. I don't respect
that part. Did he say that?
Yeah, on camera, behind camera, group chats, Twitter, anywhere you think of, it's there.
I think it's a learning moment all around. It was 100% wrong, but I also think it's a learning moment to throw into perspective for the production as well. Everyone's figuring out the best way to go about these games and awful things. Accidents don't happen on purpose.
Yeah, I just feel like nobody really expected that to happen. We've seen eliminations. We've seen feisty eliminations. You know, 3 seasons. Some of us have done way more than 3 seasons. We've seen, you know, the roll-arounds, the flips, the tosses, but nothing.
Kevin and I played that same one.
Nothing
You know?
like that.
It's just like,
it's
it's Damaris and Alyssa.
Kevin would never be able to pick you up over his head and drop you on your neck just that easy. You know what I mean? So there are certain things that go into
Even like Damaris and Alyssa, like Damaris could easily do that to Alyssa, but why? She doesn't need, it doesn't need
The same thing
that.
I said.
When you have a bunch of people wanting you out and wanting you out the game, and then
It's a lot
lo
of
and behold,
yeah.
Easy, the person that you think isn't supposed to win this elimination, scores the first point for you to be out of the game that you've been working so hard, everybody's against you. Like that, there's a different type of high in that game. Like it's now,
It's different when you're actually there, seeing a person being slammed on the ground, landing on their neck in real time in front of you. Like, personally, I was freaking out after the first time, and when it happened a second time, I literally ran onto the field and was screaming because I felt like it would have happened the third time. And that's just completely not appropriate. We got lucky that the worst that happened was the best that could have happened, realistically, because it could have gone much worse. And I think that's just what I want people to recognize.
I can't sit here and say, oh, Jay West felt all this pressure. Jay West brought that heat onto himself. Nobody was messing with Jay West until he started running his mouth the way that he did. Messing with people who weren't even talking to him or looking at him. We can't sit here and make excuses because I'm sorry, that's what they are. They're excuses. He pounced on his chest and he wanted to be the bad guy. Now he's the bad guy. That's what it is. You wanted to be that narrative? Play up to it. Lace that bitch up and wear it.
I just felt like the whole game I was really trying in my head to stick up for him. I knew that I wanted to work with him. I thought that he could be a strong competitor, and I think that just after everything, I just kept getting more and more disappointed with him. And then that was kind of the last time where I was like, okay, like, what you're doing, you may not think like that you're gonna hurt somebody, but from my perspective, it was the intent to hurt him and to show that you were the bigger person and to show that you're stronger. Yes, you're trying to prove a point by winning. Don't prove a point by slamming somebody on the ground, because at the end of the day, I personally don't think that anybody sitting here would have done that to somebody that's half their size. And if you do, I would disagree with you. I just don't think that he should be defended at the end of the day. Coming from somebody who was one of the very few that defended him the whole time, at that point, I could not defend him anymore. And that was like my last straw, personally.
Jay West compared to Easy. Less.
Just looking at them.
Just looking at it, it's just like, all right, now you got the game, especially a physical challenge. You know you got it in the bag. You didn't have to take it to that extent. But at the end of the day, Jay West is going to play his game. We all know what Jay West is. Jay West is, going to talk his shit and is going to be what he's about.
no, I don't agree with what Jay West did, but like also at the same time, how is he supposed to know? We've seen eliminations like.
It's common.
Wait, 1 second. Wait.
And there shouldn't be any buts out there.
That's at the end of the day, there's going to be a but.
You
can't say you disagree with what he did, but it's the challenge.
At the end of the day, Easy signed up for it. Easy signed up for it. He knew what game he was going to play. No matter who he was going to be against, he played the game.
Yeah, that's like
right or wrong.
Going to football and being
Wrong,
mad that you got
because out. And I want everybody to know that he was
Alright,
the first person to say, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not playing. It wasn't production that said, you're done. He was like, I know I'm wrong, I'm done.
Also,
that's why
I'm pretty sure Easy had the intent of giving him the game.
He left because he got smacked in the face with a helmet. Let's really talk
As
about
he
it.
should, because I would have smacked the bitch who slammed me on my neck.
But let's really talk about it.
Cause no pain in him.
Let's really talk about it though. And the whole cast was against him.
It was like a power trip. And like, that's what it was. Like, you picked him. He could have easily tussled to get the ball and been like, he could have gotten out of Easy's hands like this. Let's be for real. If me and Damaris went against each other, she could have easily picked me up and thrown me on my neck. Now, if she did that, I would have never spoken to her again. Because it's like, you know your strength against me, and you're using it against me for a power trip. But to pick him up and throw him on his neck like that, I know people like kind of didn't see it the way we saw it, like we were sitting right there, like we saw it in plain sight, and like it was terrifying. Like honestly, like easy could have gotten paralyzed. Like I don't agree with it. I won't stand by it. I don't see a but. I don't think that it's okay, and that's it.
Thank you guys for all your input. Let's agree to disagree on this one, and we're gonna be right back. Dre surprises us with the cleanse where people have to secure their spot in the final four. How did you guys feel going into the cleanse?
Someone should have been DQ'd.
Yeah, I should have been DQ'd, but like at the end of the day, I wasn't.
Thank you.
I wasn't. No, he's not lying. And I'll say this on camera, on live, baby. Maybe I should have gone. But I wasn't. Y'all got a second chance and y'all still couldn't beat me.
Oscar, you're very quiet.
I was nervous because I always do good up until like right before the final. But I was aligned really well with everyone in the game at this point. And I mean, the nerves were still there, of course, but I feel like I held my.
I wasn't feeling very confident about it. I mean, I'm never going to complain about the games that are put in front of me, but it was just a little bit difficult for me to grasp, especially with Brady back in the game. I didn't think that was really a fair move because it was just by chance to get a marble that was in your color. If you can't really see, that really is by chance. So for me, I was just more so frustrated that Brady was back in the game and then she had the same opportunity to get to the final as I did, and she had been in the redemption house.
That it was an even playing field at this point.
Right.
Kayla, I know you didn't get past the cleanse, so what happened?
Well, it definitely sucked to get purged out at that point in the game. But to kind of piggyback off of what Malin said, like, yeah, Brady being thrown into that challenge, it definitely threw me off. I remember before we started, like right before the marble challenge started, it was like we were all standing there and we were like, there's no way. Like, there's no way Brady's competing with us right now. Like, we've all fought tooth and nail to get to where we are this coming. So I felt a little bit robbed, especially because during the actual challenge, like, Brady was sabotaging me a little bit. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when my hand was in, like, the black water, I kept feeling someone, like, kind of knock the marbles out of my hand, so I couldn't get shit out of the water.
I didn't
It was crazy. I think I was actually the first girl at the bucket. I was like, hold on, I need to find out who's doing this right now. And at one point, I had my hand in the bucket, and I was like, okay, when whoever's doing this hits my hand, I'm gonna be like, ow! And so I have my hand in the bucket, and I feel like somebody like basically hitting my hand. I'm like, ow! And then Brady's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, okay, you just held on yourself. I was a little salty, but at the end of the day, like, I didn't get it done, and I got purged out. And I really thought I was gonna make it to the final. I've always made it to a final, but I didn't, and I was okay with it, you know? I was okay with it because I know that I really, like, gave the game my all this season, and I'm proud of the game that I played, so it was good.
As you should be.
Yes, we're all proud of you. And Audrey, you're shaking your head a lot while Michaela was talking and calling her on her bullshit.
What bullshit?
You said bullshit.
Bullshit on what?
I have no idea, but I heard you say bullshit.
I didn't hear it.
I think you can see on.
No.
Let's roll it back.
Nobody said
Alright, fine. I didn't hear it.
Were you saying
But-
something while I was speaking?
I was talking, yeah, I was.
About me?
No, I was talking to CT.
Oh, okay.
Alright, Audrey, you were also one of the players who didn't make it past the cleanse. What happened? All that talk, all that, I'm not floating, what happened?
Came down to it, you know, we did go again, me and CT.
It came down to the weather.
And CT got the best of it, and my honest opinion, he should have been DQ'd, but no one cares about my opinion, so it is what it is.
So then production surprises us again with the 3-stage purge, starting with a 4-way tug of war. Amanda, I felt so bad. I feel like now, for me watching, I think I could have done it. I could have been like crawling my way through it. But honestly, seeing Kristen struggle, seeing Amanda struggle, Camilla, Malin, like, it looked hard as fuck. So between the girls, between the guys, what happened?
I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. I mean, there's 4 of us. we're standing around looking at each other
You
like,
guys just stayed
we know,
stationary.
and yeah.
I mean, I kind of just knew I was screwed.
We're not
You know, like,
rookies.
I'm going against these three, like, they're obviously all very, not to say that I'm not athletic, but, like, they obviously have the strength on me. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna pull as hard as I can. And I did. If you see in the footage, I was crawling.
Yeah.
I was choked.
She tried to turn around, she's like,
Yeah, I was.
they said, she's like, ooh.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, I feel like it kind of was, you know, we were in a physical leg, and most of them were physical, and I was like, at this point, obviously it's not my strong suit, but I'm gonna do what I can do, and that's all I can do. So I was nervous, I was terrified, I literally think I might have peed my pants, but honestly, I did my best, and I'm very proud of myself.
And then my favorite was when the boys came on, and Kevin and Oscar basically sabotaged Jalen, and Kevin just threw his weight. Literally, like.
It wasn't intentionally towards Jalen. It's just I went.
No, at the end of the day, like I've said a million times, this isn't a game. I think it was risky. I think it was kind of stupid because it's the Final Four. At that point, you might only have one. You definitely had 3 shots to make it to the final.
Right.
But anything could happen. You never know. Anything could happen. He could have twisted his ankle in the very next competition and been fucked because secured a spot.
I think risky is the perfect word for it. Stupid, I don't think so, because at that point, if I wanted to secure somebody's spot in the final, it's definitely Oscar. So getting him to win was my main priority.
He was always
that
like
would be beneficial.
Anyways, it felt great to win.
Congratulations, Kristen.
Thanks.
You and Oscar.
But I feel like that's kind of
I pulled
like,
mine though.
I feel like that's kind of like a noble move. Like, you kind of showed that, like, you have Oscar's back, because, like, at the end of the day, like, alliances didn't matter at this point. Like, it's not like any of them were going to be able to save you. So the fact that you know, took Oscar to that point and was like, I'm going to secure your spot, like, it showed that you were loyal.
Or he just
or a move against
it was a move for Kevin because he wanted Oscar in that final because he thought Oscar was a layup. Let's be real. He wanted Oscar in that final because he wanted somebody easy that you can beat.
Nowhere did I say that.
I know you didn't say it. I know you're not gonna say that. You're not gonna say that. That's why. Let's just be real.
That I
didn't
feel
do
like
anything to him.
I beat you in the final. You were the layups.
All right, we're gonna move on.
I'm a layup.
We're gonna move on.
Yes.
We're gonna.
I'm definitely not a layup.
All right, next question.
Host said we're moving on, that's it.
Let's talk about CT and not making it. How did you guys feel not being able to move on to the final after making it to the final in the last season so recently?
I mean, it sucked. I mean, I would have loved to make it to the final, but I can't blame anybody else but myself. I just didn't get the job done at the end of the day. But we're not gonna say, just because I lost doesn't mean I didn't hold my own. I did what I came in the season, and besides get Jalen out, I have the highest elimination record out of the guys without losing. So, like, even though it was 4th place, I still ended it on a good note. And that just gives me more, it just gives me more of a reason if I come back to fight even harder for 1st place. I changed history with getting all the champs out and making sure that there are new finalists. And okay, you
hold on, let's be clear. Officially.
Who did you eliminate to make it your move? You didn't eliminate nobody. The person you went against was Jalen, not a champ. Me and Jalen did that. Me and Jalen sent everybody home. One of the most daily seasons, obviously.
And Amanda.
But let's be clear, Jalen's move, but we brought you into it.
No, I had the same plan. Ask Mike. I told Mike I was gonna get. No, y'all. I'm gonna talk anyway. No, we're not done. Let me say something real quick. Let me just say something real quick. At the end of the day, you guys are just calling me a layup because you're mad, but y'all know good and damn well I'm not no fucking layup. Because guess what? Y'all sent me in to send Jay West home. Did you not?
I did.
Did you not?
I did.
Did you not?
I did.
Oh, but I'm a layup though. Fuck out of here.
I did.
Now we can move on.
Let's hear from Amanda.
And then
Amanda.
kiss the juiciest, blackest part.
Unfortunately, you didn't get past the purge. What was happening?
I really wanted to prove that, like, now we're in the Final Four, like, let me show these people that I really am a competitor. And I couldn't get it done, and, like, it sucked because I wasn't super satisfied with my gameplay. But Worlds Collide, I was like, oh, I got it done. Like, nobody cannot put respect on my name now. But this one, I was like, you know, I have a great social game. I think everybody knows that. This time, I wasn't able to get it done, so I was kind of just like, Well, I didn't play the game
Win
that I
some, lose
wanted.
some.
Yeah, I don't think that
Right.
takes away from Amanda at all. I think that she's still a great competitor. Just like Michaela didn't make it to the final either, but I still think she played it.
And I feel like
But I'm
just
flopped.
seeing me,
Yeah, I stand by that.
just
Okay.
seeing me like in that four-way like rope when we were pulling to, I was surprised. I was like, wait, wow, like I really like. You would have thought that I was gonna get dragged, and I didn't. I didn't, not once. Like I was almost there. So like every game that I played, even with the tire, I was like, yeah, I didn't win, but I was pulling. I didn't stop and I didn't give up. So I'm extremely proud of myself, even though I didn't get the game done that I wanted to get done. I'm very proud of myself.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming along this season. I'm so sad to see you guys go. And yeah, we're gonna move on to our finalists. Congratulations to the finalists of season 14. Malin, Jalen, Kristen, and Oscar. Thank you guys. Great job. Thank you. So how does it feel to make, actually, Amanda, you're supposed to be out. What happened?
Camilla wasn't able to make the final, and me as the fourth girl, I was called to go to the final. So obviously that was extremely exciting. You know, I wasn't able to show up in the final four, but hopefully now I can show up in the final, and I'm blessed that I got a second chance, and I'm so excited to run it with all of these amazing people.
How did you guys feel going into the final, knowing how high the stakes were, going into all these amazing competitors?
How did you feel going into the final when we were forced to stay up all night, deprived of sleep, deprived of food, deprived of human rights? But I guess that's
I was
what
looking for
challenges.
it. I was
Did not think it was that bad. I think everyone.
Oh, Oscar, shut up. If you saw me throwing up at 6 in the morning, you would have saw the fact. I
You
was
literally,
throwing up.
first of all, you guys should have taken after me and just relaxed.
I was throwing up air.
You guys are trying to solve this impossible look. Like you should have just.
It wasn't impossible, baby.
It was
Did you get it done?
Yes, I did.
Did you sleep? No.
I got
And I did not do one page, and I did the same as everyone else.
I was really excited. I was fourth place last season, like right before the final. And I think everyone here knows, as everyone I've seen a million times, like I love this game so much, and I just wanted to make it to the final because I was convinced I made it last, like really could have won. So it was really cool to get to the final and to have a chance to put that to the test. I was living for it, like bring it on. When people were kind of complaining a little bit, it was like music to my ears because I didn't really trust anybody in the final at that point. And if everybody, well, Kristen and Amanda, I did.
Okay, Jalen, I was gonna say.
Take that back. I was so zoned in. I was so like just focused the entire time on everything I do.
No, I think we could all say, like, we were all so fucking over it, and all of us were, like, playing games at a point. Like, me and Oscar were playing tic-tac-toe, and Jalen was like this.
Oscar was drawing me.
Jalen was like, they were like, do you guys just want to give up? And Jalen was like, no.
So from what I saw in the episode, they brought it to different levels the entire time. For every time, this was definitely the hardest final of all the seasons in the Caucus Challenge. How did you guys feel?
I think it was different, definitely, than my last final. I placed third my last final, but this final, like, we were in a whole different setting. We were not in the Caucus swamps. We were jumping into lakes. We were doing crazy puzzles. We were climbing stairs like Rocky Balboa.
Eating garbage.
Eating nastiness, the jello, the bugs, the
Kombucha.
sandwich, the kombucha drink. Like, it was all just so much on top of no sleep and everything else. So it is definitely by far one of the most challenging finals that have ever been made or ran.
And that's I kind of want to touch on that as well. I feel like in past seasons, not to throw shade on anybody, but like people have been champs, but like I don't think anybody has ever ran a final like this.
Right.
Like I got third place, but at the end of the day, I'm proud that I even finished that because the viewers don't remember, we were running on no hours of sleep. We were going from 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and then we had to go to the lake house and go do the final at 11 at night. We didn't get any sleep, and then we stayed up the whole night. We were running on no sleep, so the fact that all of us even finished it, I think we're all champs. And obviously Jalen and Malin are our champions, and kudos to them because they got it done. But I really don't think anybody in this final could be knocked because the fact that we finished that, it was rough.
For me personally, I felt like this final was the perfect opportunity for me to prove myself. And when I'm running on the least amount of sleep, when I'm feeling a little bit sick, when I just previously had a mental breakdown, all of these things combined, I felt like that was really my time to shine and to show that like I'm stronger than anybody else thinks I am, even though I haven't played in years. So I was excited to compete in the final.
Dude, and you won. Kevin?
as exciting as it was to be a 2-time finalist on the 2 seasons that I've done back to back, along with Amanda, Kristen, you know, it was exciting, but at the end of the day, it was still a game. And as much as we were trying to make it fun, because we were the final 6, it was still a game, every single decision we did. So when we were all helping each other with the folders, you know, like I was still trying to think, what's in my best interest, me winning. So even we were down to the last question, I was like, I'm gonna get this last question because I wanna make the moves in this final. I wanna finish it off strong. So if that is trying to kiki and be cool with everybody, but still getting the first person to like finish the pamphlet, then that's what I'm gonna do. And that's every step in the final. That's what I was thinking about. What's the best decision for me because I'm trying to win.
And even though you all played an amazing game, I just want to shout out Jalen and Malin for winning this season again. Guys, you worked so hard, you went through every challenge that Dre could possibly imagine, and you got it, you got the dub.
I was really proud of us. Me personally, top being proud of myself, I was really proud of Jalen. He got voted into elimination a lot, and he still pulled through, and he ended up winning the game, even after he had been given the time penalty. He really proved himself, and I was just as excited for myself. I think that in terms of the audience and just throughout the game, I kind of like played very quietly.
Yes.
And even though I'm quiet, I don't have to be anybody's favorite player, but at the end of the day, you can't say that I didn't play a smart game, and the smart game is what won me the game.
I get emotional still, like thinking about it. This season taught me so much about myself and what I was able to accomplish. Because there's 3 or 4 key points in this game where I was convinced eventually that I wasn't gonna win that, or I wasn't gonna make it there. And because so many odds were not in my favor, winning was super hard, a lot of luck involved, a lot of skill, a lot of hustle and work. But I think I'm the only person here who hasn't even made a final before going into the season. And I wanted to win so bad to prove it to myself, to make my friends proud, and I just feel very, very honored to be a part of that winner's circle, and this season will always be super special to me.
I just want to say I'm proud to come in second to Jalen.
I'm proud to come in second too.
I'm proud to come in third.
I'm proud of everybody. Just be proud that you made it to the final, guys, and you got through it. That was fucking insane.
Crazy.
And I want to say too, as much as I was coming for Jalen, like I'm so proud of him. And
Yeah,
I respect him. He deserved it. Same with Jalen. We all played a great game, and I never knocked Jalen for winning. Like I was proud of him the same way. He was proud.
Honestly, I feel like it was kind of like a wrap-up moment, like the fact that me and Jalen did the last challenge together, and we worked so effortlessly together. And when he won, it was like such a beautiful feeling. Like obviously I love you, but like he was sabotaged so many times. So to see the person that everybody was trying to get out come out on top was like such a beautiful thing. Like I don't think anybody deserved it.
It was poetic.
Fuck those kayaks.
Fuck those kayaks.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Fuck everybody.
He said, let me say this. He said, right, so none of the guys wanted to work with me because they thought it was me. And
You thought you were checked out.
who won? Who did the best with the kayaking? Me and Jalen.
Let's be honest.
I'm good too. I'm good too. It was Malin. No offense.
Alright guys, we're gonna stop it here. Thank you everyone for watching the whole season 14 Resurrection. I want to thank our fans. We want to thank everyone who subscribed in the past few weeks, everyone who follows us on Instagram, who even shared one of his videos. Thank you guys so much. It's been a super fun ride, and we'll see you guys next time.